Hi everyone, Delaney here with Healing Gifts Boutique. Um, so there was a full moon last night. A lot of energies coming from that. I have been struggling with some things on my journey. I have went a substantial amount of time very sure on what was happening in my journey and who my twin was. And we came back in contact, and he's ghost again. And something in me has me very confused. Like, all of a sudden, I'm in this place, and I'm like, where, I was very sure, I'm the feminine, he's the masculine, we're twins, and now all of a sudden I am over here like, oh my god, am I the masculine? Well, wait a minute, am I the karmic? So I have this confusion, and I think, so I've been trying to do a lot of healing, where I thought that I was unattached and I had let go. I hadn't. And my ego was still very strong in this, like, it's been about 8 months of separation. And like I said, we did come in contact about a week ago, and like I said, I thought I had let go. It wasn't until he started asking me for advice in his life, which he usually comes around because of that, that I realized sometimes the advice that I gave him, I had these expectations that it would lead him back to me. And that wasn't being very unconditional. And I finally came to this point where I just gave him this advice to help him heal his heart. And it finally came from a place, sorry, this is emotional for me, where it was unconditional love. And I just, even if he doesn't come back to me, I want him to find that healing. And even if it is with, my little bit of confusion, what I always believed to be his karmic, I really found this place where I really just deep down really do want him to heal. And I've let go. And with this letting go, my heart chakra is just wide open, and I feel it's like a throttle in a car, and it's just wide open, and makes me realize that I have done a lot of healing, but I still had a little bit that I was running from. So anyways, I guess I just wanted to share that with you guys. We can't, what am I trying to get at? We can't hold these expectations that he's going to come back and think that we have really let go. So Divine Feminines, make sure that everything's coming out of unconditional love. And that's what it's all about, and that's the lesson that's learned from the twin flame journey, is unconditional love. And I guess hitting this point, maybe I've reached it. And it's beautiful. It's hard, the ego's strong, but blah blah. I just wanted to share that with you guys, maybe just get it off my chest. I do have my cards laid out already. I have the Divine Masculine's headspace, heart space, how he feels towards the Divine Masculine, what he's healing at this time. Then I also have this card, and I've done some readings on my own for the Divine Masculine, the overall energy card, and it keeps falling out. I did a reading the other day, and I stood up to put all my cards away, and this card was seriously like tucked into my jacket and just like fell on the floor. And I was like, why is this card haunting me every time I do a reading for the Divine Masculine? So then I also have the Divine Feminine, headspace, heart space, how she feels towards the Divine Masculine, and things that are healing inside her right now. So we'll start with the Divine Masculine. So his heart space right now I have fulfillment of wishes. Oh, this is his headspace. I'm sorry. His headspace right now is fulfillment of wishes. So I notice it's the color green. So I think it has a lot to do with, and this happened the last time I did it, but his headspace is very aware of his heart. And I know that the Divine Masculine also has things that he's been trying to clear in his heart. And I think that in his mind, he has really seen a light. He's really gaining some clarity, and he wants to work towards fulfilling these wishes. In his heart space, I have accelerated motion. I feel that the Divine Masculine's heart space is really just healing like quickly, and that's excellent. For how he feels towards the Divine Feminine at this time, I have partnerships and alliances. So the Divine Masculine is the way that the Divine Masculine feels towards the Divine Feminine is, let's see the card, a team working together. They want to come, they want to make alliances and have this partnership and come together. For what the Divine Masculine is healing right now, and I got clarification cards on this because I think that ultimately the healing is what is most important. So I have authority. To clarify that, I have truth and movement into balance. So the things that the Divine Masculine is working on right now is authority is actually all about masculine energy. So he's healing that energy. He's coming and stepping into his own power. He's moving into balance, and with that, he's finding the truth of who he is. You know, that a man. You know, or a woman, but just stepping into that energy. Finally becoming balanced and not so all over the place, and the truth that he's finding with this and finding his authentic self is just another thing aiding him into stepping into that power. Now, the overall energy that I have, though, is deception and envy. Now, this is the card that keeps popping out. One that was like magically hidden in my jacket. It was so weird. With it, I have the Hanged Man and the Six of Swords. So I feel like with this deception and envy, the Divine Masculine still has a bit of a mask on. And with this, and since this is the overall energy, I feel like there still is some things that need to come to light, and where he thinks that he's fulfilling these wishes, and even though he is accelerating in his heart motion and these partnerships, I think that he's still lying to himself. And one reason I think that is because his perception is flipped. I think he has the right idea of what he needs to do, and what he needs to heal, and who he is as the masculine, but I don't think that he's doing it in the right space. The next clarification card I have is the Six of Swords. So I see that this mask is going to be lifted very soon. Notice he's lifting that mask and walking away from something that is holding him back. But until he removes this mask, and whatever it is that this light that he needs to find, that he's clearly still working on, he won't realize that the divine masculine still has some facades that need to crumble. Rather this be maybe it's a karmic partner, maybe it's a lifestyle, just something is blocking his perception. Something is still a little toxic around him. He's got something to figure out. So we're going to move on to the Divine Feminine. So for the Divine Feminine's headspace, this is kind of funny, I got the solar plexus. So the way that I'm reading this is that the Divine Feminine isn't in her headspace. She's telling herself to listen to her solar plexus, to listen to her intuition, to her gut instincts. In her heart space, which is a green card, heart chakra, is a spiritual union. So I feel in the Divine Feminine, in her heart, she realizes that spiritual union is always there. It will always be connected, and she wants it. For how the Divine Feminine is feeling towards the Divine Masculine, I have the throat chakra. The last few times I've done the Divine Feminine readings, I've gotten lots of chakra cards. So I feel like the Divine Feminine is really, really coming into balance. To clarify the throat chakra, I've got the Queen of Wands and the Three of Swords in reverse. So the Three of Swords in reverse is going to be all about finding the truth. So, and the Queen of Wands, I like this card. She's very determined. So when it comes to the Divine Feminine and how she's feeling towards the Divine Masculine, she's really wanting to speak her truth. Very much so. All right. For how the Divine, what the Divine Feminine is healing at this time, I've got the Universe. So this is also going to be the World card. Letting go and struggle. So the Universe card is going to be about completion. The Divine Feminine is really completing her healing, and it's been a struggle, but she's finally letting go, which is kind of a coincidence for what I was just saying before I started this reading. She's completing her work. She's letting go, and it's been a struggle, but she is completing it. And for the overall energy for the Divine Feminine, I have the Power card. To clarify that, I have the King of Swords, which is pretty much the same thing. And then I have the Star card. So I feel for the Divine Feminine, she's really stepping into her power. She's realizing her power, and she's really, really becoming enlightened. I wanted to do some more cards for the Divine Masculine's headspace. So can we get some clarification cards for the fulfillment of wishes for the Divine Masculine at this time? Could we get some clarification cards for fulfillment of wishes for the Divine Masculine at this time? Okay, so what I got was, so the Divine Masculine's headspace says fulfillment of wishes. So for clarification cards, I've got spiritual strength, disruption, and patience and planning. So I feel like the divine masculine, when it comes to fulfillment of wishes, um, where he had this disruption and mental conflict before, the fulfillment of the wishes, that he's finally finding some balance. I know this says patient and planning, but we see like those two pillars, to me almost looks like 11. He's finding some spiritual strength, and I think that's something that the divine masculine has really yearned for, was that spiritual mindset, being more mindful, finding that strength that the divine feminine has had, wanting that. And it's really clearing out this mental disruption that he's had. And maybe it could even be causing some, because I know that when my spiritual awakening, this is for me personally, so this may resonate with some people and not all of you. When my awakening started, not too long after, I had my dark night of the soul, and that was very, very disruptive. It was dark, man. I mean, that's a rough place to be in. But he's working on some patience and planning. He's doing some planning for himself. So let's get, well, I'm just going to go with it because I picked it up. Let's get some clarification cards for the divine masculine's heart space at this time. Divine masculine's heart space at this time. We have accelerated motion. Okay, so we have the accelerated motion, and I felt that this meant that the divine masculine's heart healing is really, in motion. So what I have for clarification cards was sacred space, divine timing, and forgiveness. So I think these are excellent clarification cards for that, because your heart, not only do you have sacred spaces, like for me in my home, I've got a couple different altars. Really, my whole house is my sacred space, but your heart is a very sacred space. And it's very important to get out of your head and get into your heart, because the more you're in your head, the more your heart misses you. And then we have divine timing. So this is, once again, this is the divine masculine's heart space. So he's really doing that healing. He's really spending time with his heart, his sacred space. He's trusting divine timing. And most importantly, what's causing a lot of this healing is he's finding forgiveness. Whatever it was that was blocking him and keeping his heart closed off and causing him to run, not only from his divine feminine, but ultimately from himself, he's finding that forgiveness, which is very big. Very, very big. So next we have, how is the divine masculine feeling towards the divine feminine at this time? And I got the partnerships and alliances. So let's go ahead and get some clarification cards for that. You know what? I want to use the tarot. Okay. Can we get some clarification cards for how the divine masculine is feeling towards the divine feminine at this time? How's the divine masculine? Whoa, I've got a mess happening over here. How's the divine masculine feeling towards the divine feminine at this time? Okay, so for the clarification cards on how the divine masculine is feeling towards the divine feminine at this time, remember it was partnerships and alliances. So for the clarification cards, I've got the Ace of Cups. I love this card. The Hermit and the King of Wands. So in the divine feminine, how is the divine feminine feeling towards the divine masculine at this time? We actually got the divine, we've got counterparts here. So that's a good sign that they're finding balance in these areas. So the Ace of Cups is going to be about new ideas for love and coming together. The Hermit, I see that let me just get a look at this. um, so how's the divine masculine feeling towards the divine feminine at this time? This is kind of different. The I'm getting a whole different thing here. So I think that I feel that the divine masculine is I'm just trying to figure out how to get this to come out of my mouth. Having some troubles with my throat chakra here. So how's the divine masculine feeling towards the divine feminine? Coming into balance with himself. With I don't know how to get this out of my mouth. I think that the divine masculine has a little bit of confusion, and a bit of a flip in his perception. And when it comes to the divine feminine and these partnerships and alliances that he wants, he's coming with new ideas when it comes to relationships and love, but he's spending a lot of time with himself, and he's really finding that light in him, and he has determination to figure it out. And these are going to be some of the things that are going. This is going to be part of the mask dropping, whatever that may be. Maybe he these partnerships and alliances that he wants with the divine feminine. Maybe he's in the wrong. Maybe he's in the wrong place. Maybe he's with a karmic. He is overflowing with love. His heart's opening up, like the card said, and he's really having a lot of solitude, like I just said right now. That's what the Hermit's all about. Spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself. This is what I was gonna say. So when it comes to how the divine masculine is feeling towards the divine feminine, we mirror each other, and he's finding some self-mastery. So from being his own worst enemy, he is becoming his greatest ally. So that's huge. Let's see. Can we get any words from Spirit on the Divine Feminine's heart space. Clarification cards for spiritual union. Okay, so spiritual union and the Divine Feminine's heart space, I've got the abundance card, psychic development, and self-love. So I think that in the Divine Feminine's heart space, she's really, really just being grateful and knows that she has that abundance. The psychic development, listen to your heart and this spiritual union, and don't let things get in your way, and don't let the physical illusion get in the way of what you already know in your heart. Notice there's a swan on here. Did you know that swans actually mate for life? Spiritual union. Next, I have the Divine Feminine is being very gentle with herself, and in her heart space right now, she is loving herself, and that's what we have to do, especially when we're very sensitive. So let's go ahead and get some clarification cards for the Divine Feminine's headspace, the solar plexus card. So I got choose wisely, sacrifice, and firm foundations. So this was the headspace, and I got the solar plexus. So rather this be just like I said, the Divine Feminine in her headspace, she is saying, listen to your solar plexus, listen to your intuition. And or this could also be a message from Spirit to do that. Get out of your head, listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, and choose wisely. Next I have sacrifice and firm foundations. So right now what I'm reading from this is stay grounded. Listen to your intuition. Don't be in your head so much right now. Make wise decisions. Make sacrifices if you do have to make these decisions, and stay grounded. Just make sure. Possibly the Divine Feminine is going to put in a spot to make a major decision, and Spirit is telling you to listen to your intuition, choose wisely, even if it means that you have to make some sacrifices, and ultimately stay grounded during this transition. I am going to go ahead and stop there because I have to do a couple private readings today, and I'm about at 30 minutes. I love all of you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.